Step 3, activate the skill by saying, Alexa, play WHOW radio.
That's all there is to it.
And to stop the WHOW stream, just say, Alexa, stop.
WHOW, now on the Amazon Alexa app.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning, DNR Conservation Police Officer Noah Workman. Officer Workman, how are you, sir?
Good, Seth. How about yourself?
Not bad. Not bad. Thanks for coming out and talking with us. And I can't believe it. Next weekend is the big Memorial Day weekend, man. Or is it next weekend?
Is it next weekend?
Well, the weekend whatever.
Right.
This coming weekend, the weekend after that. Yeah. So it's here, man. It's here early this year, and all those things. The way the weather's been, I can't imagine anyone's excited to get out on a boat in some of this.
We had actually quite a bit this past weekend.
Did you really?
Shocked. Yeah, I was shocked.
Wow.
I bet there were 20-something trailers at Muscootin, a few at the marina.
Really?
West Side had a few. Yeah, I saw a lot of wreck boats. People over in the hot water ditch just sitting and hanging out. And
really? Already?
I mean, the water temperature in that area, you're talking mid-80s.
Really?
Yeah, because that's.
I mean, it's warmer in the water than it is outside.
That discharge from the power plant.
Yeah, I mean, I remember those days back when, it's warmer in some of your friends' pool than it is outside at times. But no, here we are. Maybe the weather turns by next weekend. And I'll tell you what, I know one of the things that you and I talk about very often is when folks get that boat out. Sometimes it's the first time it's been outside the storage shed, and that can run into some issues. Let's talk boat prep and boat safety this morning.
Boat safety, boat prep. That's kind of what I focused on a little bit this past weekend. Like I said, I spent some time at the ramp just stopping boats when they were coming in, because I noticed over the last 7 years of doing this job, a lot of people they're so excited to get that boat out. They just get that boat out, take it straight to the water. They want to make sure the engine's running. They want to make sure all the seals are good to go and that they're going to be prepped for the summer. But what I've noticed is they forget to take into consideration the safety equipment that are necessary. A lot of people will store their boats in sheds and separate their life jackets so that they don't get eaten by mice, and they just forget to put it back in that boat. So did a lot of boat safety checks this weekend. A lot of things I noticed: type 4 throwables and expired fire extinguishers. Those were my two biggest warnings. I write warnings on stuff like that just to give people paper reminders. But those were a lot of the common violations I was seeing. Fire extinguishers, check the bottom of your fire extinguisher. It's got imprinted on it. It's got a two number date. And that was the year that it was made. They expire after 12 years. Okay. So you might be green. Your little needle might be in the green. Your fire extinguisher might say it's charged. After 12 years though, rotate it out. Go get a Coast Guard approved fire extinguisher. Don't get a kitchen appliance fire extinguisher. Okay. So make sure it's a Coast Guard approved. You'll read that on the label.
Where do I get one of those?
I would say, I don't know, to be honest with you.
You don't know about it.
Never had to buy one. I've never had to buy one. I do believe the marina. And when I went in there last year, I remember just looking to see if they had the safety equipment that we require for boats in their shop, so that people can buy if they need to stop in while they're out the lake. And they did last year. Okay. I don't know if they have them this year. I haven't stopped in, but sure. The marina is an option. I think you could even get those things at any kind of boat store, but I want to say you can even go Menards or
oh, sure. Yeah. Like a Lowe's type hardware store type of place.
Store, but just look for the Coast Guard approved. Okay. It's USCG, United States Coast Guard approved. And in small print, you're gonna have to read. I have to spend a lot of time on boats on different fire extinguishers to find that. But it's on there.
What is flammable on a boat? That's a really dumb question, but
gas.
Gas. Well, sure. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's why it's Coast Guard approved. The gas combustion. And that's one of the other safety violations I see is terminal covers on the batteries. Usually they're located near the engine. And then you've got, it takes a little spark with a gas fume and you've got a problem on your boat. So the terminals, the positive and the negative, cover them up on the back, especially when your battery's near your engine and it's going to be exposed to those gas fumes.
You talked about the throwable life jackets, I'm sure.
Life jackets. Yeah. Yep. One life jacket per occupant on the boat. So however many people you got on, and they got to fit. That's the other thing. Holy cow. They've got to fit. You got a 300-pound guy. You got a family, a larger family. Say everybody's over 200 pounds. And then you've only got child-sized life jackets. I've done it in the past as a joke to make a point, is ask the bigger person, go ahead and put that life jacket on, jump in the water, and let's see if you can float. Because it's not going to be operable for them. They've never done. I always tell them, don't really do it. I'm just kidding. But to prove the point of, it's got to be an operable life jacket for a person of your size. So make sure it's appropriate for everybody on board. Excuse me. One of my biggest pet peeves out the lake is children in life jackets. So under 13 years old, kids need to be in life jackets. Anytime that boat is not tied to a dock or not anchored out in the middle of the water. Anytime it's considered underway, anytime it's kind of in motion or being used as a boat, those kids under 13 need to be in a life jacket.
Sure. Yep.
I get it. I'm a parent of a 6-year-old. I know how much my daughter does not like wearing a life jacket. We go kayaking and how it's uncomfortable and this, that, and the other, but it's be the adult for the kid. You make the decision for the kid, know it's for their safety, and put them in it. Or if the kid really is that big a, anti-life jacket person, then just don't take them on the boat.
Yeah, sure. Very good. DNR Conservation Officer Noah Workman, our guest in studio here this morning as we get ready for the busy Memorial Day boating season. Anything else on boat prep before we move along here, Noah, that folks need to know about? I wondered, you mentioned like those storage facilities and mice. I know with like, there's some vehicles and the way like some of the wires are made in the undercarriage of the vehicle, mice and squirrels are attracted to that and they'll eat it off. Is that a thing with boats at all that you've noticed?
I don't know with boats. I know they ate my truck when I moved back to Clinton within the first year. They love, I guess I learned that some of the manufacturers and cars, they use soy in their wires, and that's what attracts the mice and the squirrels. And they chewed up all my wiring in my truck, and I gave Bombs quite a big check to go get all that rewired.
Sure did. I'm sure it did. Sure. Well, maybe keep an eye on those things, maybe for newer boats. I don't know if that's much of a thing at all, but
that's what people are going out to check. And that's what a lot of people will go in and dump their boat in, just to make sure it's going to turn over and fire up, making sure that their wires are good to go. And that is the most people's main concern when it comes to this time of year of getting their boat ready. Yeah. And they just take it's just a second thought of, oh yeah, I forgot I gotta get my life jackets in there. Oh yeah, I gotta get that throwable in there. And,
sure.
And stuff like that. So.
Well, let's talk safety once guys are on the water or folks are on the water. Let's just kind of run down some of the things we need to know as we're out for Memorial Day and beyond. How about that?
Biggest thing's hydration. I mean, you're out there in the sometimes in the dead heat of summer, you're talking 90-degree weather. It gets your body is going to just naturally use up that water storage that you have throughout the day. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Take water, take electrolytes, Gatorades, anything like that's good liquids for you while you're on the boat to maintain hydration. Food obviously is another thing. You take snacks, eat throughout the day, prepare for the day. And that's what I always like to tell people is, just have everything on board that you're going to need to get through the day.
What's good on the boat food?
Man, I love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Something simple. You give me a nice thick peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a bag of chips. That's my perfect go-to boat food.
All right.
That's when I do boat. I don't have a boat personally, but for boat patrols, I've always got my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and my snack sticks and things like that. But I got a gallon of water I take out with me every time I go out. And
there you go.
I've had to give people water before. Like you can just tell people, a lot of drinking goes on in the lake. Let's just call it what it is. And so I'm like, oh, you guys got water on board? No, you're looking a little rough. Do you need water? Yeah, I'll take some water. Okay, here's some water. Get some water in you. And it was funny. I watched a group of young guys, probably in their 20s, come in earlier this weekend, and they were just pasted red. I mean, lobster red. I was like, well, there's your first sunburn of the. Oh man, and
they're going to be miserable for a few days. Oh man.
So that's what I say. Sunscreen's another big thing. Don't forget your sunscreen. Don't forget. It's just the little things. Think about what you're going to need throughout the whole day on the boat, out in the sun and exposed like that. We tell people that's not required. Take a jump pack. A lot of people like to run their radio and stuff when they're tied off and their batteries die. And then they call and they need a tow in, and just have a backup plan for if something were to happen, and think about those situations.
Sure. You mentioned alcohol consumption. Let's kind of dive into that piece of it. I know that's a big one. How about that?
Nothing illegal about having a beer while you drive a boat. It's different than a car in that matter. But you got to stay under that impairment level. Impairment level it fluctuates between person to person. It fluctuates in the amount of alcohol it takes you get to be impaired. It fluctuates in the what your blood alcohol content is at impairment. So
Mhm.
you might be under a 0.08, which is the 0.08 is your standard impairment. It's not impairment, it's the wrong word. It's the BAC level in
Mhm.
which you're going to get an OUI or a DUI.
Uh-huh.
But you could be at a 0.05 and still showing signs of impairment.
Sure.
And so, you're starting to slur your speech, starting to have the balance issue, you're starting to have the coordination problems, things like that. So just be mindful of it when you start feeling it. Especially if you're operating, if you're a passenger in the boat, you can have that BAC as high as you want. You can party it up, live it, have all the fun you want.
Uh-huh.
I'm not so concerned with you as a passenger in the boat, but if you're operating it, be mindful. You start feeling that buzz after a few beers, back off, grab a thing of water, wait an hour or two before you have another one.
Yeah.
Just be mindful of it. It's really easy once you get out on the lake and having a good time to make that an afterthought until it's too late. And then you stand up from the seat and you're like, oh shoot, I've drank 6 beers and I'm feeling rough. Don't let it get to that point. Think about it before you get there.
You mentioned the ability to have open alcohol on a boat is different than a car, but then what makes operating a boat under like a certain sobriety level different than operating a car under a certain sobriety level?
I mean, you're not going to see so much of the swerving just because, with a fluid lake, boats are going to be moving back and forth anyway. But it's just, it's decision-making. It's starting to impair your decision-making. And then your reaction time, and making that judgment call. I mean, that's what boats, they have got their own kind of, they got their own way to pass each other. They've got their own way for oncoming boats. Who's got the right of way? Who gives way to whatever boat depending on what angle the boats are coming in at each other. And so decision making is what the big one is with that.
Well, and I tell you, Captain Williamson always talked about, the one thing the advantage you have in a car is you hit the brakes and the thing stops immediately. But that's not the luxury. That's not a luxury you have in a boat.
No, you don't have seatbelts in a boat. You're an open compartment in a boat. You get hit with how force works. You have a higher chance of being thrown and ejected from that boat. No, boats are constant. They're in constant motion when they're on the water. I mean, the water is hardly ever completely still, and that boat is going to stay still without being, even when it's anchored, it's still rotating and pivoting on that anchor.
Sure. Well, Officer Workman, I tell you what, let's break, my friend. Come back with some more, and we'll maybe hit more on like Clinton Lake specific and things of that nature. DNR Conservation Police Officer Noah Workman in studio with us. More to come on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the markets on the RFD Radio Network. I'm DeLois Yonke. Last week, July corn dropped 9 cents. December was down 5 1/4. May soybeans were up 4 3/4. And November, Friday to Friday, was up 6 3/4. July wheat, both hard and soft wheat contracts were down 18 3/4 cents. We were green in the overnights. We're green in the early going today. July corn up 2, 473 1/4. September up 2, 479 3/4. December up 2 1/2, 496. July soybeans up 9 3/4, 1217 3/4. August up 9 3/4, 1212 1/2. November up 7 1/4, 1196 3/4. Soy meal July up 390, 320, 360. Soy oil July up 42, 74 74. July wheat up 8 1/4, 627 1/4. RFD Radio Network.
This is Inside Out.
Spring into savings this May with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Savings with a new car? Yes, with our fuel savings model like the Chevy Trax with 40 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Trailblazer, and Chevrolet Equinox with 33 miles per gallon highway. And don't forget about our EV options, the Chevrolet Bolt and Equinox. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Flory, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest in studio, Noah Workman, DNR Conservation Police Officer, as we talk the upcoming Memorial Day weekend. And Noah, kind of a kickoff to the summer boating season. Let's dive into some Clinton Lake specific things. I don't know if there's no wake zones. Are there areas where you can only do certain types of boating? I'm not really familiar with the dynamics of Clinton Lake. What do you know? What can you tell us?
So Clinton Lake, they've done a great job. Charlie, the site superintendent, has done a great job in putting buoys out, advising people where your hazard areas are, because there's hazard buoys and there's no wake buoys. So just make sure you pay attention to what buoy says what. But he's done a great job in marking low points and where some like underwater sandbars might be, to where you could bottom your boat out, stay away from, but also the no wakes. Most of your no wakes are going to be nearer the boat ramps. So when you put in your boat, you can see out, I don't know, probably 25, 40 yards. You're going to see a line of buoys, and that's where your no wake begins as you're coming in toward the ramp. But then you can go full on plane once you get past those buoys. A full no wake, no matter what time of year, is always always got to remember which bridge it is. It's the Route 48 bridge into the east.
Okay.
So between 48 and Parnell, it's no wake from 48 to all the way to Parnell. I always tell people to be mindful of that, because you'll see it in the summer a lot, especially on weekends. Boat ramps get full. People have to go kind of park in Parnell and use that access. And then as sunset's happening, they're trying to go on plane through from that 48 bridge over to Parnell, and got to remind them it's a complete no wake from there on.
Excuse me. Yeah.
The other no wake area it's near IP Beach. So you're going to kind of go on the northern part of the lake. From there all the way, even to the 54 bridge and north, it's all no wake as well.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Any areas of the lake that are only, I know you can be on the lake like all night or something. There's like stipulations to like your craft and those sorts of things. But like, are there areas where it's like, fishing only these times a day or anything like that? Like anything? No,
the lake is shared by everybody 24/7. Jet skis or personal watercrafts like that can't be on the lake past sunset. So they're off the lake.
Is that just a visibility thing?
Yeah, that, and it's just, so Clinton Lake is also, it's a no wake after sunset, or it might be 30 minutes after sunset. I have to go back and remind myself.
Sure.
But it's within that time frame of sunset. You're 30 minutes after or right on. But it's a no wake.
Okay.
So it becomes a whole no wake lake. Jet skis are going to be off the lake at sunset. So
all right.
Yeah, that's about the only exceptions. Otherwise, we get a lot of cat fishermen that fish at night. They're on their boats at all hours of the evening.
Sure.
Fishing. So it's shared by everybody.
Sure. Will you see a lot of folks over the summer? Like they'll just pop their boat on the water and they're there for the weekend and they're all set and yeah,
they got some houseboats that are going to be they're stored out at the marina, but then they go out and they'll spend the whole weekend out on their houseboat and then either come back in or they'll spend a week on their houseboat.
I would love to see that sometime. That would just be fascinating.
It's cool. I've seen a couple of really cool houseboats where you're like, I could live like this for a weekend or two. I could live like this for a week. It's
like an Airbnb.
Yeah, you wake up, you got a grill on the bow. And you're like, I'm gonna grill eggs and I'm gonna sit here and watch the water. And it's calm in the morning, drink my coffee, and
man, that would scare me. Grilling on a boat, man. I don't know. Just like you get a loose amber or something like that, and gosh, things could go bad real fast.
Throw water around you, just have a bucket handy.
Sure.
Well, there's the fire extinguisher.
And the fire extinguisher, sure. Yep. Interesting. Anything on, like I said, boating, fishing, anything we didn't touch on you wanna put out there? You mentioned the jet skis. I mean, that feels like one that could go south real fast if you're not paying attention or you're operating those under the influence of something. How about that?
Jet skis, what we see a lot, what I see a lot with jet skis are sometimes they love to jump wakes from boats. So they like to stay within a distance of a boat, and as the boat's making a wake and they're heading down the lake, they're sitting there jumping their wake.
Sure.
It's fun. But keep your distance to where it's safe. Same with a jet ski, doesn't move unless you're on the throttle. I mean, so know your equipment prior to going out. Get comfortable with your equipment before you start doing more risky type riding on those things.
Sure.
If I think this year you're got to be at 24. If you're under 24, boater safety card you got to have. So go online.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Online,
this.
yep. Get a boater safety card.
What is that?
It's basically you're going to take an online course that gives you. It's not a boat driver's license, but it's a boater safety. It's a piece of identification that you got to carry on you that shows that you've completed the course. And
Okay.
you're lawful to operate the boat.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so that's what I was gonna say is if you haven't done that, go online. DNR website can guide you to where you need to go get that taken care of.
Is it a paper copy or is it
So I've
something
seen
digital you
people-
get or?
Yep, you can do it digital. If you want to keep it on your phone and have a digital copy, as long as you've got it accessible, if we ask for it,
Sure.
you can present it.
How many phones you get dropped in the water on a yearly basis?
I don't hear of a lot of them, but I'm sure a lot happens
I'm just
between
gonna-
phones and sunglasses. I'm sure
Yeah.
that bottom of that lake is littered.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's littered.
I did want to ask about, speaking of littered with phones, litter just in general. I venture a guess you get guys out with beer and, all the liquors and all those things. I mean, I wonder if the trash piles up at all.
The boaters over my 7 years have been that I've noticed they're great about taking garbage bags on the boat, loading up all their garbage and utilizing the dumpsters at the ramps when they're done. Now I know a common thing from growing up and seeing it. It's, you got your beer out in the water. You just fill it with water and let it sink to the bottom. Don't do that. Throw it back in the boat, have a garbage bag. Don't submerge your beer cans or your beer bottles or whatever to the bottom of the lake.
Sure.
Just kind of use some common sense. Take the extra 5 seconds. It's going to take you to swim over, throw it on the boat to get it into a garbage bag.
Very good. Very good. Well, on that, Officer Workman, I've got about a minute. Did we not get to something this morning you want to put out there for
Yep,
us?
Clinton Lake's got, they're going to have a concession open, but it's not going to have a restaurant. So they're going to be selling chips, anything that's not fresh food, anything prepackaged. They haven't got a restaurant in there yet, but that building's going to be open selling firewood to campers as long as snacks.
Okay.
Clinton Lake or Weldon Springs is getting a full restaurant. I want to say it's going to be open Memorial Day. So be on the lookout for that.
All right.
Trying to, eager to see what that person puts up there. I've heard it's going to be kind of like a Dairy Queen type menu, burgers, chicken strips, ice cream, stuff like that. So,
all right. Very good. Officer Workman, always good to see you, man. Where do folks go, by the way, to learn more about regulations of boating? And, you mentioned that
our
online.
website's got a great website. You can get the boater pamphlet on there, the PDF version, read through it. You can stop in at the Lake or Weldon Springs office. We've got paper copies of them. I carry them in my truck. If you see me, holler, I'll get you one. But it's going to have all the information as far as lighting on boats and all the safety equipment necessary, how to register and things like that. But
very good. You working Memorial Day weekend?
I'm not.
Lucky you.
I'm not. It happened to be my day off. I'm going on vacation. So
there you go.
I'll be coming back for Memorial Day. I'll be there
all right.
Memorial Day.
Very good. DNR Conservation Police Officer Noah Workman in studio with us. Network News comes your way now.
WHOW.